Welcome back to Soul Purpose Leaders. Today, I have an amazing leader. And before we can go there, I would love to actually introduce the Soul Purpose Leader itself, the platform that we're in. This is a platform that actually showcasing most of all the leaders. If I can have all of them, that would be fantastic. But these are the specific leaders. These leaders are actually that gone through the hurdles themselves, that they care about other people's problems. They want to help them. They have the solution. They've gained the experience. They've gained that, everything that they went through, they overcome it. They have the ingredient and to make the dish the way it's supposed to be. You have to have those kind of things. So this is what we're here. Now, today, I've got Klaas van Oosterhout. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He's an entrepreneur. He's a entrepreneurial parents discover what their ideal life and business looks like. Be in control and improve every single day through his signature proven system called Become the Me I Want to Be, and achieve results they never thought they were possible. And his goal is to help them create the vision and execute in no matter what challenges come their way. I am so happy and I'm so blessed to have this person. His name is Klaas. Hello, Klaas. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me. And
So,
for the introduction, that was fantastic.
Thank you. You're all to do with family. And I love that. So I would love to actually know yourself. Who are you first?
Well, that one's simple. I'm Klaas. I always go first with me in everything that I do, right? So I wake up, or sometimes I don't wake up early, to look at me and to be with me and to make things happen. So I have set up a nice morning system that I do while my wife is out walking the dog and the kids are still sleeping. I get an hour to myself to do my exercises, to work on my body, mind, and soul. And then to be charged or recharged or up the charge, whatever you want to call it, to get ready for our two sons, Alex and Diego. They're 6 and 8. They're rowdy. They're a little crazy, and I love it. I just want to make sure that I'm the top of my game to spend all the time with them as much as I can. And that's how we start the day. So we eat breakfast together and make them ready. I bring them to school. And then I start my beautiful day with connecting with people and helping them move forward to achieve the results that they desire. And then, well, in a couple of hours, I'm going to pick them up again. And then we have the whole afternoon. So the whole afternoon, I do maybe a little bit of work. However, mostly is focused on them. So they just start playing football, soccer for the Americans that are watching this, and they love it. And I spend a lot of time with them on that. And they train with the trainers, but then we also train all together, or we play. They have got their games, and I haven't missed one yet. So yeah, that's what I'm all about. And then, of course, as much time as possible with my wife. This month is a very busy month for her. She's an accountant, so it's all taxes. So we see each other a little less. However, we always make sure that we do our afternoon date. We don't do a date night anymore. We do date afternoon because we're still more energetic at night. We noticed that we were falling a little asleep, so we changed that, which is way better. And then we spent the weekends together, of course, as well. So yeah, that's what I'm all about.
That's beautiful. I love that because family comes first. A lot of people find very difficult to balance the two, the work and the family. Now, let's talk in depth in a way that if a family is watching right now and they're struggling because they working so hard, and when they come home, like you said, especially nighttime, you're exhausted. It's not really fun date night. You know what I mean? You don't even enjoy the date anymore. It just becomes just let's go fall asleep. Let's not talk anymore. And a lot of family break down because of that. There's no more talking. It's just doing. So can you give us, in a way, what you can do for family like that? What is that they need to look out for?
Yeah, exactly. Well, first thing, of course, you got to understand sometimes things are just the way they are.
Okay.
Right. So the lifestyle that you just explained, where I pretty much can get up whenever I want, except that, I have to get up to make sure that the kids get to school and get ready. But I have the availability to walk them to school. And then as soon as we're done, I'm going to go for a long walk with the dog. Again, no business. And after that, it's do a little business. And then I go pick up the kids, and then we have lunch together, and et cetera, right? That was a journey. That's not from one day to the next I decided, this sounds like fun. Let's do that. No. At first, I had my job and I was working 40, 50 hours a week. And then I would come home and then I would work on my business, and I would do that at night, and I would do that in the weekends. And, there were for months and months on end, there were no date nights, no date afternoons, no, nothing, right? Not even let's sit on the couch and just watch an episode of something on Netflix. There was nothing of that sort. The most important thing for that I learned is just make sure that everybody's aligned. So make sure that with your partner, you sit down and you explain. It's like, look, this is my vision. This is how I see things. What's your vision? Let's first make sure that we have a family vision. So we put that together, and then explain. It's like, look, for that to come true, I must do X, Y, and Z, which means that, A, B, and C that's important to us right now might not be as extensive as we can, right? It might just mean that, a date afternoon is maybe a 5-minute walk together, or a 10-minute, sit at a table and have a conversation, drink a cup of tea, whatever that is. And maybe later on, right, when everything is more controlled, and now it's like, okay, it's a date afternoon, like it's actually like 4 or 5 hours where just you and me, we go do this or that. We go to the movies, we go to a restaurant, like we make a whole, or, we go to the amusement park, just you and me, or whatever it is that you enjoy, right? Now people know a little bit what I enjoy. I love amusement parks. But you got to figure that out. However, you also got to know that the situation is how the situation is. And if we got to eat, we got to live, we got to pay rent or mortgage or whatever it is. And then it's not easy. It takes a while to get there. So sometimes you get lucky and it's, right, things click and it's great. I'm not saying it's not possible. It is. However, that can only happen with knowing this is what I want. This is what I want it to look like. This is what we have to do. And then just do it. And then just make sure everybody's aligned. Everybody knows that. And then also make sure that as soon as one person feels like I'm not happy, or I miss this or I miss that, communicate immediately. We're so afraid of communicating our emotions or how we feel, afraid of what the other person is going to say. It blows up in your face every time you don't. That's my experience. Every time you don't explain it, like, hey, I don't like this, or I don't like that, or I actually love this, but we're not doing it right now. Whatever it is, you got to share it at all times of the day. Be open. I mean, that's why you got married, to have that one person that you can just openly share, like, this is how I feel. It's scary, but it's the one thing that we must do.
I think you've touched so many good points.
I know, sorry.
I love that. No, don't be sorry. Never be sorry unless you've done something wrong. But you haven't done something, or you did something great. And because we have to go back to the beginning. And the beginning is, you have to know your circumstances. You have to know your situation. That's number one. And number two now is 2 people in that relationship, not one. A lot of us, we forget that, because we, either a man or woman, it depends which side it is, we sometimes lean on the other, on our spouse, and we think that no, they are important, either if they're breadwinner or whatever it is, that we give them that courage, that we put them in a pedestal, and we want to support them because we believe that we cannot live without them, but we forget who we are inside. So having that second bit is knowing that both of you are important in this relationship. Now, the third bit is that actually coming together. When you come together and open it up, the conversation part. and being honest and saying like, hey, what is your vision? Come on. In relationship, we forget that the other person has their own vision. So yes, I love it. I really love what you're doing because it actually goes to the roots of the problems. It actually touch people's hearts and people's,
Mhm.
what are we doing? Why are we here in this world? Why are we working so hard? You know what I mean? What is that vision? Where are we going? I
Mhm.
love it. Klaas, oh my goodness. Thank you for being here. You break something here today. This is amazing. I love it. Now, let's go deeper than this. Okay. So, we already set these two people up. We already get them ready onto the table. Now, they know their vision. Both of them, they're clear because this is the most important thing. We have to be clear on that vision of each other. And then now, Klaas, come in. Tell us, what can we do after this? Now we can see where we're going, but what if it doesn't match? What happens? Are we going to support each other or are we going to break each other? What's going on?
Exactly, exactly. Well, I'm glad you asked that because we have to understand sometimes they match, right? You see entrepreneurs, they're doing together. My biggest example, for example, at the moment is Steve Larson and Marley Jacks, right? They're working together and you just see them shine and they're both entrepreneurs and that's phenomenal. And I love seeing their energy. It's great. However, we also know, for example, Russell Brunson, right? His wife is not an entrepreneur. However, you can tell she's supporting him and she's just, making sure that he can do what he wants and make sure that he shines. And I love that too. But that's what it's all about.
Yes.
So I want to share this example, and I can do it with my hands so you can really see. We make it a little extra visual. I think now it was like 3-4 years ago. I was interviewing this one guy, and he was mentioning what you said. Like so many of our relationships is like we're leaning, right? One is strong, and then the other person is leaning on that, which is horrible because if that person falls out, that person's going to fall, and then it's not just a relationship is gone, everything is gone, and that's we don't want to get in that situation. That's even worse. How about a relationship where both are leaning on each other, right? One person goes, the other person falls. Now we both fall. We're same situation, right? So what we want to create is like, you have to understand we're both individuals, first of all. So what if now we make sure that as a person, we're strong and we know our vision and what we do, right? And then what he didn't explain, but I changed or I added to his story. What if now we look at it, instead of looking at it flat, what if we change that? So now we've grown each strong, so we become each a star. What if we change that and now we interlock? So now each of us interlock, we actually make each other bigger. So now we become, instead of becoming two stars individually, we become one huge star to inspire others, to show what we can do, right? So yes, there might be things that our partner does that we don't agree with or we don't like or it's not part of our vision. However, we have to understand, we have to respect. This is your vision. This is what you want to do. I respect that. Now let's see, how can I support you in your vision and just give, right? Big challenge and problem that I see in a relationship is that we believe that if I support you, you must support me. Or if I do this for you, you have to do that for me, right? I'm guilty of that. Not as much anymore, but I used to be very guilty of that. Especially when it comes to cleaning, for example, my wife is not an entrepreneur. She loves her job and that's fantastic. So in the beginning, it was like, we're struggling with that because, she's got her job. I'm an entrepreneur. We both don't understand each other's world. She was, and still is actually way better at supporting me than I am at her, meaning in a sense of like, just telling me like, you're fantastic. This is great. I love what you're doing. And I'm here in the world like, why are you still working in your business? Like in the beginning, I was like, you are so good at what you do. Why don't you start on your own? Like that's what entrepreneurs do. Come on. And then I noticed like she doesn't like that. She just likes to, she loves that. So now we support that. I would clean in the house and I would expect her to do things as well because I cleaned the house. So now I expect you to, whatever. That's not the way it works. You give because you love that person. You just give to give. However, the fun thing is, if you give without expecting something, they actually start giving more. Now you're both just giving fully with not expecting anything in return. The relationship just grows to a whole new level. And we'll have gotten way better than you saying like, okay, I give you this, so I'm expecting you this, right? it helps you grow, it helps you become. And now we're taking steps toward achieving our visions. But that's why I'm also mentioning, like, we're talking about, a family with 2 boys as well. So it's important not just to have individual visions, but also to have that family vision where you join together and know exactly, like, this is what we want for our kids. This is how we want, because again, for us, right? I am Dutch. I was born in the Netherlands. It's a complete different culture. I also studied in the United States. That's again a different culture. She has a Colombian father and a Spanish mother. Those are 2 different cultures. She's lived in both places, right? And now we all live in Spain. So there's like, what, 4, 5, maybe 6 different cultures all mashed together. And we all got to get different upbringings, et cetera, different educations. And now we got to mash it all together. So it's very important to make sure that you got that family vision, that you come together as well, and that you learn from each other. Like, this is how we want to do it. This is how we want to do it. Be open to what the other person wants to do. It's the most important thing, because you might think that you know it all, but we have no idea at all. So the best thing to do is be curious. If your mind immediately says like, "Oh, that's a stupid idea," then ask yourself, like, why is that a stupid idea? Because actually, maybe that's like the best idea that everybody and you come up with, but just because it's different from yours, it doesn't mean that it's stupid or weird or wrong or whatever it is. And I've learned that over time. Is like, I gotta stay curious and ask, why do you do it like that? Why do you say that? And is there something? Is there a truth in that? Can I use this? Can I use that? Okay, I think I can't use it. Let me try it anyway. All right, I tried it. I can really not use this. Okay, let me communicate that. Look, I tried it. It doesn't work for me. I just can't. Right? Which is fine. And then we'll look, okay, well, how can we do this differently? That's in business. That's in life. That's in anything. Right? But we're so stuck in our ways, unfortunately, so we'll never move forward. Hope that makes sense. I went
Yes.
off.
No, 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 no. You are in the right place. You are doing the right things. And actually, I just love it because I can just break it down what you're saying. And that's the best thing. Okay. This is amazing. This is a lot. And I love what you do because end of the day, as a family, like I'm talking about the spouses, as a wife and a husband, or wife and wife, whatever the life these days, it's everyone's different, but we have to respect that, what you said, respect each other's dreams. When you know and you respect each other, then you can act, and you don't have to understand them. You don't have to understand the dream. You don't have to understand the vision. You don't have to put yourself into that vision. You don't have to do that. All you need to do is just open that space for them, because you are actually working together as partnership. But again, I love the way you put with the leaning and to go on the sides, but actually creating that as one big star. That is the biggest thing, because we don't think like that. Sometimes we're so good, like you said, in our business, but at home we're rubbish. We're really rubbish, because we come home, we're so frustrated, we're so angry, and guess what? Who's gonna get it? Our spouse. Who's gonna get it? The children. Because we don't know when to actually leave behind. When we open that door, we leave behind those feelings and those everything that was affecting us during the day. Because when we come to the family, we have to treat them the same respect you give to the work, you give them the same thing. So end of the day, seeing yourselves as one, not as a separate thing, but working together. Like you said about your family, everyone has that. Now, not everyone these days are actually like, oh, I'm from, London, and that's it. I was born in London. I was raised in London. This is it. No, we are multicultural. We come from different parts of the world. We have different traditions, different upbringing, different religions sometimes, and it can be hectic. But we have to find that inner that we can agree on. How do we bring our children up? That's the biggest question. What is that you believe, and what is right for you, and what is right for me? What can we do to support each other? Now, before we can go further, I've got this question that's nagging me. And this question is that, especially comes with the children, a lot of parents, they like to be, one is either good cop and the other one is bad cop, or the other one has to be more strict, the other one has to be more kind of flexible. I've done it myself, okay, because my husband at the time, he was very strict person. So with children, but I was very like I was like a soldier. So I was just like everything with time. Okay, everything we need to do the right time. We need to make sure everything is done correctly. Everything, to make it easy. Everyone's job's easy. But I was same. I was leaning into my husband so much because I was actually like, I felt that I'm the one was holding him up. So I was the one who, so what you're saying is actually, yes, I lived up to that. So I know. So please tell us, for the parents who are bringing up, especially boys or if it's girls, what is that they need to find? Because we're missing something. Either being good cop, bad cop, is it really working? Or being that kind of person that's so strict, you're so overprotective, or being that kind of person that you're like, you know what, I'm a free spirit, I'll just let my children sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, it's okay, we can go late at school, all of these things. What can you tell us, Klaas?
Well, we first have to ask ourselves, who teaches us? Are we teaching our kids or are our kids teaching us? And we forget we're all just like, our kids have to listen to us. I'm the parent. How about we listen to them for a change? Because our kids are very, very intelligent. And when I finally start noticing, it's like, wait a minute, I'm actually learning a lot from them. And when I started doing that, it became a lot more fun. So we got to understand that kids just learn, and kids learn more by what we do than what we are. So being the bad cop or the good cop, they don't learn from that. They learn from looking at us. Right? So what do we do? So if you tell them like a bad cop, like, you can't do this, and at the same time they see you do all that stuff, they're like, no. So know what you want. Know what your goal is for your kids. And in the end, what's the goal? You want them to, just like yourself, to be happy. So as soon as you notice like, ooh, something happens, I get angry at them. Is it really their fault? My mom sent me an article the other day. And the article said this: when you get angry with your kid and you send them to the room, do you do that for them or for you? And I started thinking, I'm like, I do it for me. I'm sick and tired of them, and I'm sick and tired of getting angry. I send them to their room so I have some peace and quiet. That's not fair. All right, so how do I want to feel? So I start really learning the lessons. It's like, why am I actually getting angry? What am I getting angry about? We want so much of our kids to act like us and do like us, and I'm starting to learn more and more. There's actually not that much that we can teach our kids. Mm-hmm. They know right and wrong. They already know that it's innate. Whether you're spiritual, you believe in God, you believe whatever it is, right? You know that it's innate within us. Nobody grows up and thinks like, oh, I'm going to rob somebody, I'm going to hit somebody. They learn that because they see that, and that's what we do. So stop doing that. Don't hit your kids. It makes sense. Now, should you not hit your kids at all? I don't know. I know I hit mine sometimes on the ass. I do. Did it help? It actually did. He crossed the street without looking. He just ran over, and I went to the other side and slapped him. He's never done it again. So is it wrong to hit? I don't know. We put so much pressure on ourselves as parents. We need to stop doing that, because we really think like we can mess them up. You can't. You got to be a really bad parent to mess up your kids. And I mean really bad. So let's take that pressure away. But then let's also take that pressure away of us thinking like we can make the most amazing kids. It's really selfish to think that you are that amazing, that you have that kind of influence on your kids, right? We let them sort a lot of things out. Now, the only thing as a parent that you have to do is just set boundaries and just let them bounce off left and right and figure it out on their own. And that's what we do. And ask your kids a lot of questions, because you'll be surprised, right? They do something. The first thing we do is, you shouldn't do that, right? They spill a little bit of milk. You get upset. Wow, it's only milk. Like, so what I start doing was like, okay, how can I change with one, the emotion within myself? Two, how can I make them realize? And I just started asking them, hey, you spilled some milk. That's okay. What do we do now? Oh, well, I go into the kitchen, I grab some paper and I clean it up. Well, there you go. Problem solved. So instead of them getting upset because I get upset, now they actually are, well, I don't spill milk. I dropped the glass 2 days ago, broke. It's really upset. It was my favorite glass. But, right? It's like,
Yes.
really, they spill a little bit of milk, but I don't. I do, I still do, and I probably will do even more the older I get.
That's very true.
So that's how we got to move forward. Ask yourself the questions, but ask them the questions as well. Okay, this happened. Oh, you got a bad note. Okay, now what?
Yeah.
Was there anything you could have done different?
Mhm.
No. You studied? Yes. Okay, so then let's continue. Let's see what's the next step that we can do, right? Find out what they can do and make sure that they also do things that they don't like to do, that are good for them. That but then again, look at, do I believe, like, there's so many, like, I love the fact that they play football right now, they play soccer. I used to play. However, I never told them, like, you should do this.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many parents like, oh, I used to be amazing at a martial art, so you have to do this martial art because it's good for you. And I don't know. And this is their first year, and it might be that next year they want to do something else, and that's okay too. I prefer that. So they have to find out for themselves, just like we are on the journey to finding out for us what is it that we enjoy doing. They need to do the same, and we need to give them that space to find out what is it that I want.
Very
and again,
true.
your kids innately are good. There's no such thing as a bad kid. And if they are, then just ask them questions. Why did you hit that kid? I don't know. I felt like it. Oh, and then, you got a challenge, but maybe that kid hit him first and he just responded. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Is that what you would like? Like, ask them questions, keep asking, be curious. I learned that's one of the most important things in anything. Be curious. Why are you asking me that question? Why is that important to you? Why did you do that? Do you think that was the right way to respond? Yeah, I know. It's our walk time. My dog is barking. He knows. But that's how that works. And again, I was struggling with that because at a certain point, it's like, oh, he's 4, oh, he's 5, and you think they're too young. Ask them anyway. If they know how to respond, they know. If they don't, then, okay, then I'll wait a little bit more until they get a little older. And then we start asking the question again and make a difficult question. We treat them so like little babies. It's like, ask an adult question. Treat them like adults sometimes. See what happens. Hey, if you do that, what would happen? If you would do that again, what would happen? Okay. Hey, there's a cup there. What would happen if you do this and this? Right?
Very true, very true. And I love that because we forget, like I said, like you said, we babying them and we don't realize they're actually a person, because the way we want to be respected, the way we want to be seen, the way we want to be acknowledged by the world or by another person, we need to actually acknowledge them. We need to actually see them as individual as well. And as long as they can speak, like you said, you'll hear what the actual answer is, rather than preserve, assume or thinking this is what I would do. It's not you, it's them. So thank you very much for that clarity, because we need to hear that as parents. We forget. We see them as our babies and we want to, put them in that bubble wrap and making sure that they're still our babies. But they have their own voice. They have their own individual feelings that we need to appreciate. I know, guys, we can go on for lifetime and there will still be something more to talk about. But I want you to just really reminiscing from what we've talked about right now. And if you enjoy this and you have questions, I will bring Klaas back and we can talk more about this. So Klaas, where are you in online world? Where can we find you? Please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So one, of course, you can connect with me on Facebook and Klaas van Oosterhout. There's not that many of us, so it should be easy to find. And the other one, I have a group called Become the Me I Want to Be. I go live every Wednesday. And I talk about these kind of topics. So I take out something really specific, talking about clarity, momentum, talking about energy, both physical and spiritual, or and of course mental, physical, and spiritual. There you go. Yeah, there's just small tips and tricks on how to improve those and become the me I want to be.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And yes, I will put this information, especially his short bio and also where you can find him, onto the description area. So you don't have to go back to like, well, you can go back and start listening again, but the information is there as well. And Klaas, I want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I see you. You're doing great things, and keep going, make it happen. This family needs you and needs us all to make sure that we share this for everyone to hear and to be around and to know what's going on. So thank you so much, Klaas.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Marvelous. Thank you. And for everybody else, until next time, I can't wait to know who's going to be next. It might be you. Take care, everybody. I wish you all the best. Goodbye.